see if this renames it. How's it going, guys? Welcome. We are doing a live stream here. Oh. There we go. Hello, hello. Hey guys, we're doing a live stream here. We are about 5 hours into the Freak Brothers Pizzathon here at the Churchill in downtown Phoenix. We are raising money to donate pizzas to local hospitals and to support our staff and employees here. If you guys want to check out the donation, I'm going to add that as a link to the bottom of the YouTube channel, but check out freakbrotherspizza.com. I haven't run yet, but we have 4 of us running today right now. Josh Walker, who works for us with Freak Bros, is on course. It's a 77-meter loop, and yeah, we're just trying to do something fun here. Well, the Churchill's closed to the public, so right now, you know, with the bars closed, we do have outside service, so people can come up and pick up pizza from the outside. So we thought we would do a fun combined relay ultramarathon. So one person's running at a time. We're on our 3rd person right now. We got some questions in the chat room. Can you deliver to Seattle? I wish. We're actually talking about maybe doing some frozen pizzas. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about what we're doing out here or questions in general, I'm sitting here on the chat for probably the next hour while Josh is running, and then I'm going to be running myself for the last couple of hours, getting a run in on this course. So thankfully it's longer than a marathon. I mean, longer than the rooftop helipad loop, which was 27 meters. This one is 77, so quite luxurious. Patty Payne is asking how many people we have running. So there's 4 of us, but we're running one at a time. So my brother Nathan was first. He did a half marathon. Then my brother Nick did 12.9 miles. Josh is running now, and I'll be last. Diggs Diggler's in the chat room, wishing he lived close enough to help out. Keep it up. Awesome. Thanks for checking it out today. Hopefully you guys are all well. Man, we got 2 thumbs down already. 3 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down. That's a bad ratio. They're not liking it. Apparently. If you guys are just hopping in, we are doing a little bit of running and eating pizza out here at Freak Brothers Pizzathon. How long have you been growing your hair for? Probably 10 years, the better part of 10 years. Hopefully you guys are well if you're just tuning in here today, enjoying your weekend, I hope. AK Trail Runner jumped over to the Run Steep feed, sweet. Alex Dieter, do you still hold the record for the smallest loop marathon I have seen? Oh, yeah, possibly. Yeah, I'm kind of curious how short we could go. Nick, do you remember the shortest loop ultras back in the day at pedestrian era, like around the circus rings?
The circus ring was 38 laps a mile.
Oh, so the helipad was more.
Yeah.
I think it was like 50.
I would say it was like 42 meters or something like
What's
that.
that?
Some of them, I don't know if I forget. There was one inside of an office building, like a smoke-filled 5th floor of an office building.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible.
I don't know if that was shorter or not.
Let's see, weather looks outstanding. It really is. It's a perfect day out. I wish we were outrunning Whiskey Basin right now up in Prescott because it's just a spectacular day, a little cool, especially in the shade. It was kind of chilly. Joseph Hatchett, keep up the good work. As an employee of Banner, I can say healthcare systems have taken huge losses and anything helps. I hope your audience and reach can make a difference. Absolutely. I think we're up to like over 200 pizzas donated right now. We took 55 pizzas to Banner Hospital here in Phoenix a couple weeks ago. That was the inspiration for doing this event. We had a runner actually donate quite a bit of money to us to just cook pizzas for a hospital. So we wanted to take that to the next level, open it up, do something positive that we could try and raise some more money to do. Anyone who lives in Phoenix here and you come down, buy a pizza from us today and we'll donate an additional pizza from our end. So check it out. Ernesto Glees, where were you? I'm shaking and need my fix. I've been working, man, working hard. The Air Vibe is strong, getting all the metals prepped and shipped out. I just had no time except trying to get those orders fulfilled, so it's pretty awesome. Robert Thomas, Jabil, do you think we'll be able to get the Air Vibe and night runs in the summer? It's not looking great, honestly. I don't know that it's gonna happen this year, unfortunately. I think getting a group of 400 to 500 people out on a short looped, multiple loop course, I don't know if that's gonna fly this summer. Maybe into the late summer, it's possible, but probably not in the next month or so. Ooh, we even have a nice breeze coming in right now. Cameron Dawes, great cause, good work everyone. I'm gonna actually put the link real quick in the description. Give me 1 second. We also have some live results going on too. You guys can check it out. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. I'm just updating the description in the Run Steep video here to give you guys a little more information about what we're doing. All right, that should be updated now. All right, we got a lot of comments rolling in. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna get to all those right now. Richard Very, I ran this morning and just finished some homemade teriyaki steak pizza watching from Central Canada. Nice. Sherry Rogers, that's a really nice pizza restaurant you got there. Would love to eat there, like the open areas. Yeah, it's really an awesome, really an amazing area. This whole complex is made of shipping containers. There's like, I think 19 shipping containers. We have 2 bars, 3 restaurants, some retail spots, an acai bowl. There's a wine shop here. Yeah, really great place, and it's such a bummer to have it closed down. It's really kind of surreal not to have this place open right now, but hopefully that will change once we get through this time period. But yeah, I think we're the only food place that's open for takeout and delivery currently. Let's see what else we got. Lee Johns, this is great, man. It's been a tough time, but love watching how you've adapted to with all the online events. I'm in Australia and going to do the Vert, go for double Everest. So he's talking about the Limitless race that's coming up. I haven't announced it officially on the channel, but the race is coming up. This is our next virtual race. We have Air Vibe Strong going on right now, but Limitless is our vertical challenge. So if you guys want to sign up for this race, it's live right now. This is going to be the end of May, so May 25th through the 31st. Hopefully wherever you live, we're gonna have places open back up so you can hit the trails. But basically, you're gonna set a goal to climb more than you ever have in 1 week. You can choose 6 different levels, the highest being a double Everest, which is absolutely insane. It's like 58,000 feet of climbing. Anyways, yeah, pretty nuts. Are there any runs planned for late summer or everything's still in limbo? Right now, our in-person events are all basically in limbo. We just aren't sure what's gonna happen with those. We're just trying to prepare the best we can and see. I mean, if we're trying not to cancel them too soon, but we have paused registrations at this point. We got someone viewing from Greece. Greetings. AK Trail Runner. Jamil, I think you know Deb Hamberlin in Tempe. She ran a 5:08 backyard 50K for Air Strong. I think I did see that. That's really awesome. Mike Pence, why is your super cute sister okay? Noof, hey, is there an award for most incline in the Air Strong 50K? Yes, we do have an incline award. So make sure that you have your information from Strava that is uploaded, and we will go through those and check it out. Nick, do you have the elevation on there now? So if you go to the results page on Air Strong, you should be able to see the elevation gain that people have done. So check that out. Ryan Kraus, when are you doing your Air Strong race? So I'm doing it over the course of the whole week. I guess I'm starting today officially. So this has been my first run. I'm gonna shoot for the 100 miler over the next 10 days. And yeah, today will be my first run as part of that. So I'll have a really long 100-mile time, I guess, but I really want that belt buckle. Joel Pena, Pizzathon genius, greetings from Texas. Yeah, so Nick, he ate a pizza during his 2-hour run.
Yeah, great.
Literally fueled by pizza during the Pizzathon here. So yeah, those of you guys just tuning in, we're doing a Freak Brothers Pizzathon. We are raising money to donate pizzas to local hospitals and healthcare workers here in the Phoenix area. We got the idea from a runner who donated and asked us to do so. We were able to cook 55 pizzas a couple weeks ago and donate them to a local hospital, and we wanted to do more. So we thought we would run around in circles and try and raise some money and do something positive with our time and our legs. We are doing a relay, so it's 8 hours. There's 4 of us, 1 runner at a time. That's going. And currently we're on our 3rd runner. As you can see, it's pretty dead inside here. Normally this space would be filled with people getting lunch, going to the bars that are here, having a beer, having a cocktail, eating pizza and tacos and burgers. But for now, we are just running circles through this place. Parker Adams, did you ever wear gaiters when you're running? Very rarely do I wear gaiters. Only a couple times have I ever worn them. Alex Dieter, what time is he aiming for? Oh, excuse me. I think he's just gonna run for maybe 90 minutes, and then I'm gonna jump in and close it out and run a couple hours. Mary Salmon, medical social worker here. Thank you so much, longtime follower. Great, that's awesome. Seatown fan, great cause, way to go. Appreciate that. And if you guys do want to donate, we do have the link in the description right there. For $10, it will support 1 pizza being donated, and also will help support some of our staff who are out of work right now, because as you can see, this space, which would normally be filled with people, is closed down to the public right now. So we are relying upon our takeout and delivery service only. Seatown fan, I am new to this. How does that money work on YouTube? So if you want to donate directly to this cause, please click the donate button where it says runsteep.com/product category. That will take you to the specific Pizzathon category. So if you want to donate, click on that link and that money will be calculated. And I'm actually going to find out where we're at, give you guys a little update, how much we've raised so far today. We're up to $2,290. So from the money we've raised online, it's 229 pizzas. Also, anyone who comes in to our shop and does a takeout or a delivery pizza order today, we are going to, you get your pizza at normal price, and then we will donate 1 additional pizza for everyone sold today. So if you come on down, that will add to our total. So I'd imagine we'll, 229 online, and we've probably already sold quite a few over here. So hopefully we can do over 300 pizzas for local healthcare workers. Julian Bresden, you think UTMB is happening this year? I would be surprised. I would be surprised if any of the summer races happen. It seems like more and more are being canceled, especially one that big. Skylar, miss you too, bud. Hopefully you're well. We need to do that live stream soon. We got some Skylar fans in the chat here now. How's everyone doing out there? Who got in a run today? Where are you guys running? Are you stuck in your houses? Are you able to get out on the trails? Running at altitude, greetings from Colorado. Keep up the great work. Nick, do you want to hop on for a couple minutes while I go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have Nick, my brother, hop on here. He's gonna answer some questions. He just ran 12.9 miles of this loop, so if you guys wanna ask him some questions for a bit in the chat room. He also ran the Aravaipa Strong virtual race. If you guys don't know about that, that's happening right now. This is the medal for it. He ran his last night. He did 50 miles and then came here, did 2 more hours. So I'm gonna vacate the spot, let him chat with you guys. The questions are right there on the YouTube. Cool. What's up, everyone? See, oh, there I am. All right, cool. You guys are doing good? Oh yeah, so let's see, last night I did my Aravaipa Strong virtual race. I aspirationally signed up for the 100 mile knowing that might be too much, and so I started last night. I planned on doing, mapped out a 20-mile route from my house, so I was gonna do 5 loops, had 5 camelbacks lined up in my garage. So ran the first loop, went pretty well. I was a little tired. I was gonna do the run next weekend, and then I looked at the forecast and it jumped up to like 93 next weekend. So I'm like, I don't really feel like running 100 miles through the heat. So I pulled up my run to this weekend. The only problem is I did a 50-mile training run last weekend. So add all that up, and I knew that was probably too much. And so sure enough, it was like mile 35. I'm like, I don't think 100 miles is in the cards today. Like, no doubt I could have finished it, but this doesn't seem like the right time to put yourself too much at risk, put yourself too much at edge. So instead, like, I enjoyed the first 40, the last 10 kind of dragged on a bit, but it was a beautiful night. Like, actually, Phoenix temperatures right now at night are just awesome. So it was like kind of not really much, I don't think there was really much of a moon out there, but with the city lights out, it was just really peaceful, calm. So I had a great run through the night. So started at 6, finished just before 2 a.m., got some sleep, came out here, did another 2 hours on the 77 loop, or 77 meter loop. So that puts me at like 62, 63, so basically 100K in the last 24 hours. So yeah, a little tired, but otherwise feeling pretty good. So if you guys have questions, throw them up and we'll go through a few things. So Skylar asks, who's more consistent in their training right now, me or the missus? So the missus, my wife, Lauren, for anyone who isn't familiar, is also a very accomplished runner in her own right. She just ran the Olympic marathon trials. That itself is kind of funny because she was never really a runner. She was a hiker, and then she got into trail running through hiking. And so unlike most of us, she never ran the roads, never really liked the roads. But the last 4 years or so, some of our road running friends have been pressuring her to try to qualify for the trials.
And so they finally wore her down, and so at the beginning of last year, she decided to go for it, trained and ran Grandma's in June, and then ran CIM to qualify in December, and then ran the trials earlier this year. So bringing that back around to who's more consistent, I want to say in general, she is more consistent. I tend to be the one that kind of gets overexcited in my training, like raises the miles quicker than I should. If you look at our year-long training, mine tends to go through these like rolling waves, whereas hers is like rock solid. She's like, I don't know, 60 to 70 miles a week, almost year-round. But right now, she's kind of after this whole road running marathon training cycle, like almost 2 years worth of just rock solid consistent training. She finished the trials and she's like, I need a break, I need a mental break. So at this exact moment, I'm the more consistent, but that's not generally true. All right, let's see what else. Any tips on staying mentally focused on small loops? So that's one of my specialties. I like to say that I'm unfortunately good at loops. Probably my most competitive event is the 24-hour, and I've actually surprisingly, given the choice between like a 1 mile loop and a track, a 400-meter track, I would pick the track almost any day. And having done multiple 24-hour races of both formats, I find the 1 mile loop can be challenging, especially if you're doing something that's like through the night, or just where you get more spread out. The 1 mile loop, like come like midnight, 2 a.m., you're by yourself, it's dimly lit, like you just start feeling like a zombie, like you can't even focus on anything because you have no stimulation from anything. And so the shorter loops, the one advantage of them, especially like Desert Solstice track race or something similar to that, like we have races at Nardini Manor, which is a 500-meter loop. It's actually the people around when you're in a race that's a shorter loop that to me is the key to kind of staying sane. You get to chit chat, you kind of get to piggyback off each other, you get to see each other, and that to me helps a little bit with the distraction. The other thing that I do is I find that it almost just trying to find the way that you can get into your own rhythm can be really helpful. So like at Desert Solstice, I know the pace that I'm looking to hit. And so every time I come by and there's the display board, I see where it is, and I almost play a game like, how close can I get to that time? So 2 years ago when I ran Desert Solstice, the time I wanted to hit was 2:19. And so I would see how close I can get to it. So it's like 2:18 to 2:20, and I'd kind of get stoked because I'm like within a second of the lap I want. And sometimes I'd get a little fast and hit 2:14. I'm like, oh, I got to slow down. So it's sometimes little silly stuff like that, but like when you make it a game like that, when you make it something you can focus on, and especially when the thing you're focusing on is helping you to like race more consistently, race better, like the time starts to fly by when you're just relentlessly paying attention to that, and suddenly 30 minutes, an hour is gone. One of the other things along with that I do is I would kind of build up small chunks to bigger chunks to bigger chunks. So I'd focus on, okay, like each 15-minute chunk is, like every 15 minutes I'd eat food on the 15-minute, and then I'd drink water on the 30-minute or something like that. And so all I have to think about is, it's whatever, 6 loops to the next 15-minute chunk, and then I eat, and then I drink. And every 2 hours, maybe there's something else I do. You change your shirt, or every 6 hours you change your shoes, or like whatever it is. And so you give yourself kind of little goals, bigger goals, all building towards the next phase of the race. And so if you're looking kind of to distract yourself, that's one of the things that I find helps me break it into smaller chunks that are easy to manage, and bigger chunks, which is where you're trying to really get through the whole race and not just have small goals. Let's see what else. Nick, why do you start some of your runs so late, extremely early in the morning? That just depends on a lot of things. Sometimes it's circumstantial. meaning like I have something else to do that day, so I've got to start at 3 a.m. so I can finish by 10 because, you know, we've got something to do at noon, and if I slow down a bit, then I need a little buffer. Other times it's like it's going to get hot and I just, you know, want to get it done before it gets too terribly miserable. Other times I just want to get it out of the way so I can relax and enjoy the day. In this case, I was starting at 6 p.m. because if I was going to do the full 100 miles, I didn't want to get into the heat. Like, heat is really terrible, it's draining. I'm not heat acclimated very much yet. And so with the heat just starting to roll in, I knew that was going to take a toll. Even like the first 2-3 hours were warm enough that I was dousing myself with water. I was trying to stay cool, and my stomach was actually struggling a bit just from a bit of overheating, even though it wasn't terrible. So sometimes a lot of times it's just logistical. In general, I like to run in the morning just to get it out of the way. When I run in the afternoon, like sometimes it's more enjoyable in the afternoon because, you know, it's really pretty, or it's light, you know, light and you can see everything. But also, especially like after working a full day of work, I just feel drained. So if I run in the morning, I have energy, I can enjoy the run a lot more. Logistically also, if I'm running my dog, it's also warm enough here already that I can't take her too far unless it's cool. So yeah, I would say I don't know if I prefer one or the other. They're just kind of some trade-offs, and it just depends. Do you ever run with Zach Bitter? I wish I had more opportunities to run with him in general. I've run with him a couple times. We'll get together with him and Nicole here and there when it works out. But we kind of live on the far outskirts of town, probably like 30 minutes away from a lot of the other runners we know. And I'm someone who hates to drive to run, so I tend to just run from my house, and I don't mind training alone. So, you know, it's the same thing. Even like Jamil, him and I almost never train together, but it's not for lack of wanting to. It's just for, I guess, my laziness and my motivation drop the moment I've got to like organize and add an hour of commuting onto my day to go run with someone else. So Nick, are you vegan like Jamil? No, I'm not. I've jumped around in my diet quite a bit. So I don't know, what was it, 2011, 2012, kind of along with Jamil and Nathan, I experimented with something close to the like fruitarian, low-fat, raw vegan diet. I've now tried, I kind of go in and out recently of more of a like ketogenic style diet, or OFM is kind of the more encapsulating optimized fat metabolism is kind of the buzzy way of talking about it now, but it's basically using ketosis, but also using carbs at certain times. I've seen what feels like a lot of good success with it, so I continue to do it sometimes. At the same time, like, I have some mixed feelings and reservations about it. It seems to be really, some aspects of it seem to be really helpful for endurance racing if you can really, really increase your fat metabolism. Like, I feel like I notice a huge difference. I'm able to do these monstrous training runs and recover really quick. At the same time, like, I don't get stoked on eating a bunch of meat, like the ethical stuff, while I'm not so far down that path that I'm vegan. I also don't really get excited that, like, one of the ways to do a ketogenic diet correctly is with a substantial amount of meat in there. So I generally try to do the lowest amount of meat I can do and still get my nutrients correct, but it's kind of a trade-off. So partially because of that, I don't do it year-round. I'll do it during specific parts of my training. And then the flip side is, like, I love ice cream, I love pizza, I love curly fries, I love all kinds of carbs, and so I couldn't imagine just being low carb all the time. So I kind of like, you'd periodize training and you'd periodize, you take your off season and your on season. Like, I almost do a similar thing with my diet. But more recently, the last couple of years, I've been doing kind of the keto style with some pretty good success. Trail or road, Nick? I enjoy trail a lot more, but I don't mind road, and I'm pretty good at it. Like, I tend to be the most competitive at either like a 24-hour fast race or even like a fast 50 mile. And then I also even like, I feel like I'm probably on the minority of trail ultra runners that I love to run 5Ks and half marathons. It's just fun to go fast. So I think there's part of me that's definitely a road runner, but like if I had to choose one, and if I had to choose where I'd want to do more of my training miles, all else equal, like I'd be on the trail all day. I live right by the McDowell Mountains. We moved there because we used to live just kind of in the middle of Scottsdale, away from every trail, and if I go too long without substantial trail running, I kind of start going crazy. I definitely seem to get hurt more if I can't mix it up with trails. I get weaker if I can't do climbing some of the time, and then I just like getting lost in the mountains. You know, an hour on the roads can feel like forever, and 3 hours on the trails, just like it's done like that because you just forget where you're at, and it's just beautiful and awesome. So I definitely pick trails over road, but I'll do plenty of my training on the roads and definitely some racing there.
What shoes did you choose for this run?
Let's see. I have, surprisingly, it's a Reebok shoe. The Reebok, what are these called? The Float Ride Energy. It's just, it's similar to Adidas Boost. I was shocked that Reebok now makes one shoe that's a real running shoe. I'd read some reviews on it. I picked up a pair to try, and it's like a kind of a solid, just throw lots of mileage at it, like steady state trainer. So after running 50 miles last night, which I ran in a Nike Lunar Racer, I just wanted something that like my foot would feel good in. I don't have to think about. So, but normally I train in like actually literally across the board, like all kinds of shoes. Like I tend to wear Nikes on the road. They're like elite level shoes, or I'd say the shoes that their elites wear are second to none, some of the best designed shoes. You know, they obviously have some of the best technology, so I find myself enjoying their lightweight road racers. And I tend to train in more minimal shoes than not. But then roads and even all over the trails, I wear everything. I probably have 10 different brands in my closet that I rotate through. Like I'll wear probably 3 or 4 different shoes any given week. So I jump all over. I try not to get stuck in one shoe. That way when they inevitably discontinue the ones I like, I have plenty more options.
All right, let's see what else. Favorite trail in Phoenix? I'm a sucker for South Mountain. I lived right by it for a couple years. The thing I like about it that's you don't get as much of a lot of other places is like the National Trail and a few of the others are ridgeline trails where they get up high and they stay up high and you get these big vistas and views. Like I live right by the McDowells, which have some of the best like climbs and peaks, but the way they design their trails, you drop right back down, so you're not up high very long. South Mountain, you can get up high, you can cruise all day. There's lots of ways to like take these crazy gnarly descents down and then climb right back up. There's like, I don't know, 12 or 15 different, like just really my style technical trails going up and down the ridge. So just any trail at South Mountain pretty much I'd say is my favorite. What's the distance of one loop? It's 77 meters per loop, which is about 21 loops per mile. That guy has a pretty nice pace going. Yeah, last we checked, he was doing like a 7:40 pace, which should be pretty easy for him. I want to say he's so Josh was a miler in college for ASU, and I think his PR is like 4:08 maybe, 4:12, something like that. So he's I know he's trying to get
more in ultras. I think he's trying, maybe doing a 50K. Are you doing I think he's doing the 50K next weekend for Air Vipa Strong. He's done talking about it. He said it's still up for debate, so we'll see what happens. Watch for his result. Rattlesnakes or scorpions, much of a concern on the trails there. So actually, I did see one scorpion last night. Scorpions, I'd say, are not a concern when you're trail running, in the sense that, like, when you're running, they're not going to be able to do anything to you. Like, they're not moving fast enough. They're not going to be able to, like, get onto your shoe while you're running. If you're standing around, I guess, but I'd be surprised if they tried to get after you. They're a bigger concern actually in your house. Like, I think it's happened once to me where I put my shoe on, I felt something wriggling around, and there was a scorpion in my shoe. So they'll try to get into your house, not just because your house is warm and there might be food or whatever in there, and you can do some things to mitigate it, but it's not fun to get stung by a scorpion, but also it's not going to be some huge danger in almost any case except an extreme one. Rattlesnakes are definitely a much bigger concern, but I find the important thing is to understand, like, how rattlesnakes act and how you should act as a result. So the way I describe it to people is it would be incredibly difficult to take, like, the confluence of every bit of bad luck for a runner to actually get bit by a rattlesnake. I know one person it's happened to, and all of those circumstances were terrible and happened. So the first thing to understand is, like, rattlesnakes don't want to bite you. Like, them using their venom is last resort, and, like, it takes a toll on them, so they're not gonna go after you. You're 20 times their size, you're not food, so the only reason they would ever bite you is if they're so terrified they're doing it in self-defense to defend themselves. Rattlesnakes in general will rattle, if they feel threatened, they will rattle at you. And so if you're wearing headphones, that's actually one of the biggest ways to get into trouble with a rattlesnake, is if you have headphones in, you can't hear that rattle, then you're a lot more likely to run into trouble, which is one reason I never ever wear headphones on the trail, is I want to hear rattlesnakes. If you hear them rattle, you'll hear them before you ever see them because they're paying attention to you. And, like, so first thing, if you hear them rattle, stop, move away, give them more space than you think. You know, like, I'll walk 30, 50 feet off the trail to get around them. They're not gonna come after you, giving them that kind of room, and then you both go on your way. So that's kind of step one. Step two is there are actually plenty of times, and you may have heard runners that, like, you run over a rattlesnake and you don't even realize it. You're like, was that a stick? Was that a rattlesnake? And you look back and it's a rattlesnake. If they're long ways, they can't strike from that position. They have to coil to be able to strike. So a lot of times, if they're just cruising along the trail, you'll go over them and you'll be past them before there's any risk to you or any risk to them. And it's definitely scary. I've done that, I couldn't tell you how many times in my life, probably dozens. But yeah, the important thing to realize is that's not their attack position. And so likely they're not even ready and you're not gonna do anything to them. And so again, you just go on your way. So the snake would have to feel threatened, it'd have to coil up, and then you'd have to continually, like, harass it enough that it feels cornered and it would go after you. Usually the stories of rattlesnake bites you hear are like some college kids that are prodding them with sticks or something like that. The one case I know that a runner was bit, she was right behind a pack of mountain bikers, and the mountain bikers blasting through riled up the snake got threatened. One of the mountain bikers' tires went over the rattlesnake. It was coiling because it was feeling threatened. So as it got run over, it got flung and it's rolling, and it rolled right into her and then bit her. So, like, all those things together, like, very rare. If you were to get bit, it's terrible. Like, I won't even go into the things that happen. But if you're by yourself, you're out there, you're paying attention, you're listening, rattlesnakes, well, you should respect them and you should understand all that. It shouldn't stop you from wanting to trail run in the desert, because you can very easily, with a couple simple precautions, make sure that nothing bad's gonna happen. Cool. Any more questions, guys? Josh, where are you at now?
It's totally broken.
Oh.
It doesn't look like it's working. It's not live.
Oh.
Go to like timing.airlight or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's right.
180 laps, 78 minutes.
The box is still running though? The box is still running? What's your favorite distance? That's a really good question. So I'll qualify this a couple ways. I think I am the best, or I'm the most competitive at 24 hours. But I wouldn't say it's my favorite distance. It's an awful distance, especially to try to race. I realized this last year, I've never run a 24-hour that went well, meaning like every single one has gone into like excruciating pain caves, and I've been just kind of destroyed by the end. Like even if I've finished super well and finished very strong, that's a long like way to go. So like I finished 100 milers feeling tired but okay. 24 hours is beyond that, and unfortunately that's what I'm most competitive at. I like 50 miles. That probably is my favorite distance. It's a distance that you can finish in the day without, like for most people, without having to go into the night. Like the night starts to become long and difficult and really tiring and sleepy and all that. So 50 miles you can pretty easily finish either without going into the night or only going into the night a little. It's long enough that like one of my favorite things, especially trail races, is like I was a Boy Scout. Like you'd go to these places and you're just like, I want to go do a 4 or 6 day backpack because there's so much to see and there's so many cool things. And you grow up and you're like, I can't spend 6 days backpacking to all these places I want to go. But like a 50 mile, you can cover basically what you cover in, maybe a week in some cases. And so, I travel to a new place, a new state I've never been to. A 50 miler, I can see like a huge amount of stuff, like some of the most epic, things in that area. And yet you're done by the end of the day, you're tired, you're satisfied, you had a great time, you go to sleep the next night and you're like good to go. So to me, that's kind of a sweet spot of like, you get to see and experience so much, and yet you aren't going to so badly destroy yourself that it just becomes like a sufferfest. I saw a lot of your runs pass through the water while running. It doesn't bother to run with a shoe soaked in water, so like river crossings, so like Hard Rock, I don't know how many river crossings there are, but yeah, your shoes probably get wet, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 times, maybe a lot more if there's a bunch of snow or rain or things like that. I think it's something you just get used to. Like all else equal, I would avoid getting my shoe wet. I wouldn't usually go out of my way for that, but if you do it a few times and you realize like it's not going to hurt you, your feet might get soggy. Like in some cases there's a bigger chance of blisters, though I found usually it's not terrible as long as you've got good socks and a good fitting shoe. I think it's just something you get the hang of. Some shoes might be terrible for it, but as long as your shoe drains, like you kind of, I think you just get used to it. All right, not new to running, but mostly do short distances. I'm in my 40s and heavy about 240-ish. Any advice for your first 50K in August if it happens? So I don't know what your shorter distances are if you've done a half marathon or a marathon. But 50K, so there's a couple things. So 50K is starting to get long enough that you'll definitely need to consume some calories. Like a marathon, you can get by with a couple gels. A 50K, it's not terribly longer, but you're still gonna wanna take in, you know, a decent amount of gels depending on the runner, like somewhere between 5 and 10, like 10 might be too many, but, and as you move up to 50 mile, this will apply even more, but one suggestion I'd have is to practice your nutrition in training. The last thing you want, and one of the things that is hardest for runners, like especially the longer you get, the more runners talk about this ruining their race, is your nutrition. And there's one of two ways that can happen. The first is just you're not used to eating, you're trying to run, you're trying to eat, and you just got that like gut bomb or nausea or whatever. And one of the best ways is just trying that in training. Take a couple hundred calories on one of your longer runs, so that you can figure out what works, what doesn't. Some people, like, gels work great. Other people, like, if I have too many gels, I start getting sick from like just the feeling of so much sugar. Other people like more real foods. Like last night I had like granola bars, I had gummy worms, just like sometimes it's fun foods that break up the monotony of it. Other times it's like you just find something sits well with you. But you don't always know that until you experiment, so don't be afraid to try that in some of your runs so that you get the hang of what you can eat. If it's a warmer race, the other thing to pay attention to is electrolytes. A lot of times people aren't sure how many electrolytes to take. You know, you've got your, Endurolytes, you've got S-caps, you've got salt stick, you've got all these different options. They all have different amounts of salt. But if it's warm, and even if it's not warm, you want to make sure you're getting enough. Pretty much like marathon, you're okay, but the further you get past there, you're gonna want to start replacing some electrolytes. And the best way to tell if you need more electrolytes or if you have sufficient electrolytes is by the taste test. It's one of the few things that your body is actually very in tune with what it needs. And so if you either eat something salty like some pretzels, or if you want to do it with a salt cap, you can actually open it up, they pop apart, and put the salt on your tongue, and your taste buds will tell you if your body is deficient in salt. So if you get it and you're like, oh, like this tastes so good, like this, I just want more salty stuff, that's a sign that your body could use some more. And if you taste salt and you're like that's salty, like that's kind of overwhelming, that means you don't need any more. The other good thing is it's hard to overdo on salt. The worst case, if you take some and your body didn't need it, it tends to just sweat it out. So you'd have to really overdo it to put yourself in a deficit, but the flip side is worse, where if you need more salt and you're not giving it to your body, you start cramping, you start having, blood, like kind of liquid volume issues. So you don't need to over-index on it, but for a 50K, it's not a bad idea to have at least some form of supplemental salt. Have you considered running a 200 miler? 200 miler, not so much. I think 24 hour is about the furthest I generally want to go. I will say there's a good chance I'll run Cocodona because it just sounds too awesome to not. But other than that specifically, I don't like the idea, or I get worried about the idea of a second night. Like I've gotten good at handling one night of sleep deprivation, but by the second day, like at Hard Rock, I've gone, almost 33 hours is the furthest I've been continuously. And that second day, I start feeling loopy, and I've heard horror stories, and I'm sure I can figure it out, but I just don't know if I'm excited about like multiple nights of sleep deprivation. If I ever run like a 6-day or something, then you guys can throw it back at me. I don't know if I ever will, but I tend to start to lose interest when I start thinking through a second night of sleep deprivation. Have you done any races abroad or just raced in the US? So I have done a few races abroad. In 2013, I ran the World 24-Hour Championships that were in the Netherlands. It was in a tiny little town. In 2018, Lauren and I went and did the shortest distance at UTMB, which is OCC, so it's like it's a 57K that's on part of the UTMB course. And then last year I was the alternate for the US 24-hour team, and so I couldn't score points, but I competed at the World 24-hour kind of independently, or just as the alternate. I got a bib and a result, but I wasn't actually in the race competitively. And that was in France. So I've done those 3. On your point about 50 milers in a new place, do you have a specific run or location that you especially enjoyed? I probably have lots. Like most of the races I've done, I did because I liked what they sounded like, and I went and they were awesome. Like I'll talk about a couple of them that I've done that maybe stand out. But really, like, you should do what I do, which is you go and like get lost in Ultra Sign Up in their list of races, or you just start Googling around to look at other things, and just like look at pictures people have. Like I'm yet to really find a race, very many races that I just didn't like. I did Mount Hood last year, Mount Hood 50 mile in Oregon, and those trails are like, I mean, I guess coming from Arizona where everything's super rocky, most things are super nice, but that trail was just really runnable, fun, still a good bit of climbing, some views. Unfortunately, the exact moment that like it opened up to see Mount Hood, it was just foggy and clouded in, so I didn't really get the view during the race, only outside of the race. But that race was nice. What else have I done? I feel like now I'm drawing a blank. I did, so on the road side, this doesn't fall into my like go do awesome 50-mile trail runs, but if you were looking for a road run, I did the Fall 50, which is, it's in Wisconsin, and it's along like a lakefront, and it's a really fast course, but really pretty scenic for being a road race. So if you wanted to like try to set a 50-mile fast PR, I'd actually recommend that. There's a bunch in Arizona that are all really pretty nice, as long as you're okay with technical trails. Zane Gray's now 100K, so that's not so much. Well, it's not so much a 50 mile, but still kind of the same ballpark. Our Whiskey Basin, that's also longer than a 50 mile, but that's one of the first trails that I fell in love with in Arizona. So if you're not familiar with Prescott, it's kind of in northern Arizona, and around town there's this like 90K loop, and it's one of those trails where like every 5 to 10 miles the terrain and the scenery just completely changes, and lots of really runnable trails, but also like, you know, some technical stuff, but it opens up, and then other things where you're in the pines, and then some other things where it just gets this really unique, like these granite dell rocks that you're climbing over next to a lake. So that's cool. Yeah, I feel like I've actually traveled probably for more 100 milers than 50 milers now that I'm thinking about it, because they tend to be the ones I'll travel for. So I don't know if I have any more suggestions than that. I feel like I just did a terrible job with that. Do you advise cross-training? I would definitely say it's advantageous. I tend to be a poor example of it. By the, like, you know, working a full-time, you know, 40+ hour a week job, and trying to run, you know, when I hit peak training, I'm well over 100 miles a week. I usually peak somewhere between 130 and 150. I just run out of time to do cross training, And I also I enjoy running a lot more, so given the choice, it's one of those, I push it off to the side, knowing I would be better off doing it. I have done some substantial cross training at a couple points, and it always makes me stronger. Like probably even like for the amount of time I put in, it pays double or triple the dividends. So it's something I should be doing. It's yeah, but like I said, when push comes to shove and I just don't have hours in the day, I tend to just do the running. But I've also could definitely attribute a lot of the injuries I've had to, you know, like weak core or out of balance other things. Trail running makes up a little for it, but I don't think it makes up as far as you get if we're doing the right kind of training. So like right now I'm doing 2 days a week, probably 15 minutes, which isn't much. But I also think it'd be better to do 2 days a week, 15 minutes per session than to aspire to do 3-4 days a week for half an hour and actually do none of it, which is where I tend to be. So when I do it, if you're someone like me that just doesn't get excited about it but knows it's valuable, the other thing I found that just makes me more successful is like do what you can and stay consistent with it rather than trying to start a grand plan that's going to fizzle out after 2 weeks and then you won't do any of it. Does a person need a crew for a 100K plus race, or could they do it alone? So like the short answer is you could definitely do it without a crew. Like tons of people do races without crews. But I'll talk about why you might want a crew and kind of what races it's helpful at. So some races are easier than others to do without a crew. You know, if you look at a race like, you know, Javelina, where you come back to the start every 20 miles, like you can kind of set everything in one place and crew yourself. It becomes more challenging when you have, you know, drop bags or, you know, all kinds of things, and you're trying to make it through aid stations quickly, and you don't know where things are going to be, and so you get every aid station you get to, you've got to go shuffle through this thing, and you don't want to be worried about that when you're not even thinking straight because you're 70 or 80 miles into a run, or you know, if you're 100K, it's 40 miles in or whatever. So one reason a crew can help at something like a point-to-point is they can figure out all that stuff, all that craziness, and all you have to do is find them. But there's no reason, like almost every race will let you put drop bags. So you'll take a little more time without a crew in most cases, but there's no reason that you couldn't do it. The other reason is just, it's the same reason you might want a pacer, which is sometimes it's just helpful and nice and like motivating that, you know, you see your loved one, you see your friend, and they're able to give you that boost. If you're kind of out of it, like people at the race, the volunteers, as much as they're there, as much, you know, in some races, some volunteers are just unbelievable. But they're trying to handle every single runner in the race. And so they a lot of times can't give you individualized attention. So if you're really down in the dumps and you just need someone to either like kind of, you know, boot camp, kick your butt into gear, or like, you know, kind of just motivate you kindly and get your excitement level back up, however it may be, a crew can be helpful, both because they're there just for you, and also because they probably know you better and they may know what you need. So like, while you definitely can do things without a crew, I've done it plenty of times. It's just nice to have it if you have the option. But yeah, if you don't have it, don't feel like you can't do a race either. It's just you might have to plan a little more, and you might need to mentally prepare to be more self-sufficient across all those different things. Did you do any sports before running? I did. So I played soccer from, I think it was the time I was like 4 or 5 until junior high. I was not good at it. I was always in the like cooperative league where like the championship trophy was this big and the sportsmanship trophy was this big. And so I tried out for high school soccer my freshman year and just got demolished. The only time I was ever good at it actually mostly had to do with either running or something very similar, I would play defender, and I could wear down other players, not because I was good at defending, but because I was so persistent and stubborn that I would just stick on someone until they made a mistake. But other than that, I had terrible ball control. I had like no of the ability. Like I was just a terrible soccer player otherwise. I liked it, but it definitely wasn't really my thing long term. I played a season or two of basketball. I did swim club for a couple years. Yeah, but once I got into running in high school, that definitely was like, okay, this is my thing. I'm both good enough at it, and if I train hard, I'm gonna get better. And it just clicked that was the challenge I wanted to go after. What's the toughest challenge you find in being consistent and staying motivated, especially right now? So I think the toughest challenge in general, it's almost in the question, but it's like being consistent and staying motivated in the long term. So there's kind of this trade-off that I was thinking about actually earlier today, where you have to recognize that the thing you want in the long term is like cumulative miles and training and regularity, where you don't want your training to go like this, where you push hard and you push so hard that then you crash, and then you don't want to train because you're beat up or you're unmotivated, and then you sit down here until you've been down there long enough, and then finally like you almost get antsy, and then you train hard and push up, and then you crash because of that. So the challenge, I think, in general is you want to smooth that out and be consistent. You don't want to be up and down because of how you're pushing it. At the same time, the other thing to recognize is you want some up and down, meaning you want your off season and you want your deliberate peaks where you push harder than you could sustain otherwise. But you don't want to do either of those in such a way that you're forcing yourself to come back down because you overdid it, and then you're so antsy to get back because you've been down so long that you overdo it again. So to me, the key to long-term consistency is knowing there's some ebb and flows, but you want to control those. You don't want to be controlled because of how you did that training. And now obviously is very unique, and one of the biggest challenges talking about that specifically is we're all in such different situations. Like I'm pretty lucky here, like I live pretty far out of town where it's not very dense. I know even in Central Phoenix and a lot of the other parks, they're very crowded and overrun because everyone's trying to get out and recreate to, not go stir crazy inside. So I still have the fortunate ability to get on some of the trails, especially the ones that people less frequent. So my personal training has been less affected than normal. Obviously I've got to keep it toned back enough that I'm not overexerting. I can't do some of the hard training that I normally do because I don't want to put myself at risk. But then the spectrum goes all the way to the other side where people are inside. Like I think the hardest thing would be if you're shelter in place, you don't have the ability to go outside and you don't even own a treadmill. Like I didn't even know what I'd recommend because I don't know that you could do, I couldn't do training around my kitchen or something like that too many times. But then lots of us are in the middle where you've got, you're allowed to exercise and you're allowed to go within so many, miles of your home or something like that. So I'd say in general, like take a step back and look at look at what you're allowed to do, and then ask yourself what's going to keep you steady if you're in that situation for a month or 3 months or 6 months, and take an approach that tries to optimize given it could be that long that you're in this situation. So don't try to psych yourself up so much that you go and try to maintain your normal training, but doing it in a weird way, on your balcony or whatever, or doing one single loop over and over again, and you're going to get sick of it in a week, and don't expect that you'll figure it out a week from now necessarily. Do it in a way that you can, you know, maybe something that's going to keep you continuing to do that exercise, do that training for a while. So maybe that is you switch to doing not just running, you do some cycling, or you know, a stationary bike, I don't know, or you increase your cross training, or you look at things that will keep you engaged and fit, and maybe that's less running right now, because if you tried to do your normal mileage with what you're allowed to do, then you know you'd burn out. So I think that'd be my biggest recommendation, is think about what will be sustainable for at least a few more weeks, a few more months, whatever it may be. Yoga is another thing. Like Lauren is doing more yoga right now. She goes into our like guest room and puts on like a yoga YouTube video and does 30 minutes of yoga. So I'd say whatever it is that keeps you excited, that you think you can do indoors or in the scenario you're allowed to do things, try to get a little creative and try to do something that'll keep you engaged. What's your favorite pair of running shoes? I'll give two that have worked best for me, I'd say, over the course of my like racing career. So on the roads, without question, is the Nike Luna Racer, which they discontinued a while ago, and I have probably 4 or 5 used pairs and maybe 1 or 2 new pairs I'm holding on to, and that's like anything from 50 miles to 24 hours is my favorite shoe. It weighs 6 ounces, and yet it's not that it's super cushioned, but it's soft enough that it feels super cushioned. And it's like the exact right level for me, where I can run 24 hours in it without any problems. And yet it's so light that like late in a race when you just feel like garbage, like the shoe isn't working against me. I'm not like, even if my legs are heavy, like my feet still feel light. So that's my favorite road shoe. Trail shoe, the Adidas Adios Not Boost 2. So before they put Boost into it, they're like marathon racing shoe. It's definitely in no way meant for trails, but it's similarly like it's the exact amount of shoe that I need for running technical trails, and it's no heavier than that, so I still feel light in it. But yeah, they discontinued that, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years ago. So I only have 1 pair left that's pretty destroyed. But I ran hard rock, like all of my good hard rocks I ran in that shoe. So I don't even know why I would race hard trails in anymore, because I seem to prefer a certain kind of road shoe on the trail and not actually trail shoes. So I don't know what my next favorite trail shoe will be.
What's up, bro?
Yo. So let's see, thoughts on tapering for a race. I believe in tapers, but I don't know what the best taper strategy is. I've experimented with all kinds of things, and a lot of times it depends on a bunch of factors. Like, I generally think if it's your goal A race for the year, like, I tend to do somewhere between a 2 and 4 week taper, depending on what you're talking about. Like, my peak mileage would probably be 4 to 5 weeks out from the culmination of the whole training cycle. And then from there, like 3 or 4 weeks out might still be a pretty high mileage week, and then it drops down to almost nothing. Like if it's a 100+ miler, the week of the race, I tend to do like mostly off days, maybe like 10 to 15 miles. 2 weeks out, I don't know, I'll probably, if I'm in pretty good shape, I'll still be running 30 to 50 miles. 3 weeks out, could be 70 or 80 miles, something like that. And that would be when my peak is at 120 to 140, something like that. But I know different people work differently. I've definitely made a lot of mistakes trying to taper. Last year, actually, before the World 24 Hour, I kept it high for too long and then tapered too hard for like 2 weeks, and I ran into troubles at that race. And I think part of the problem is I just got stale. So I don't know that you can make up. I think being gradual is part of the key to a good taper, that if you're too severe in your drop off, just because your legs get a bunch of rest doesn't mean it's exactly the right kind of rest. Like having stimulation, getting that blood flow can still be important, but you need to do it in a way that you're maximizing recovery, but also maximizing like active movement in the process.
Yo, did any of my friends comment
I don't know.
on Facebook?
Maybe. Let's see. Is it here? There's a few of them. All right, let's check Facebook. How do I don't even know how this, oh, there we go. Tell the guy in the black shorts he's going the wrong way. Oh, hey, Ben. Is Jam Jam gonna run 4 hours turning left and then 4 hours turning right? What? Oh yeah, you're gonna turn left now. Let's turn left. Crazy question. I was listening to NPR and heard about race of man against horses and a CA trail race. They mentioned a favorite named Nick Curry or Curry. Was that you? How did it turn out? Yeah, so that was me. So the race is, that race on the NPR podcast is here in Arizona. It's just outside of Prescott, Arizona. And yeah, I ran that last year, and turns out NPR was covering the race, and yeah, so how did it turn out? Actually really well. So I exceeded what I thought I was gonna do. In the back of my mind, the course record there has been, it's an 18-year-old course record, which was set by Dennis Pulheko, he unfortunately passed away in 2015 in I think a car accident. But he was racing Ian Torrance, kind of in the prime of Ian Torrance's racing career. So they were pushing each other all day, and like no one had been close to their 2 times from that year. It was 2001, I think. So I went out there, but last year, like my training was better than ever, and I've been racing strong, and so I took it steady from the start, and then when I hit the top of Mingus Mountain, I just started pushing as hard as I could the last 20 to the finish. It's like 50K to the highest point in the race, and then 18 miles or so to the finish. And I didn't know if I was close to the course record or not. I knew I was fit enough to try to go after it if I had a good day, and even though I kind of felt sluggish the first 10, I felt better and better. And so I just kind of went berserk at the end, and I broke the course record by 19 minutes and ran 6:14. And so yeah, NPR happened to be out there covering this whole thing, which was really cool. So they did some sound bites out there, and then they interviewed me for like 2 hours after. The race itself, though, if you've never heard of it, it's the previous question about what 50 mile to do. This is actually the race I should have thought of and recommended. It's a super old school Arizona race, meaning like it almost feels like a fat ass. Like you send in a paper entry form, and like you get a cotton t-shirt, and you get to aid stations, and these like radio volunteers like don't even really understand running, so like you've got to dig through a giant plastic bin to get your own stuff because they may not even have it out on a table, and you're like filling your own bottles. But the race itself, the reason it's called Man Against Horse and the reason it's so cool is you literally are running against horses. So it's not like you're running a course, horses are running a course, and you're in the men race and the horses are in the horse race. All entrants are in the same exact race. You're starting at the same time, you're running the exact same course step for step, and you're trying to beat each other to the finish. The horses have, there's a plus and minus here. So the horses have 3 mandatory holds. There's a 30-minute, a 30-minute, and a 15-minute. And the reason they have the holds is a horse could physically run itself to death if you just kept pushing it. And so it's for the safety of the horses, which they take really seriously. The downside for the men is they actually get to subtract those 75 minutes of hold time. And so you want to try to beat the horse to the finish. And I think it had only happened like 2 or 3 times in the race's history that a man had crossed the finish line before the horse. But even then, the horses always beat the men because they subtract their time and then you beat the man. So the other thing that I got to do is the first time ever that even subtracting the whole time, my running time was faster than the horse's running time. But it's a very unique experience to be going head to head with them. Obviously the horses on something that's flat, like I can't run 20 miles an hour, they just blast past you early in the race. But as you get into the mountains, as you get into these more technical trails, like the horses struggle when it gets technical and rocky. And then the thing that surprised me is once it's downhill, the horses slow down a lot because with the weight of the rider on their back, they just can't run that fast. And so you can pass the horses in these hold stations, but then you can also pass them certain parts of the trail. And you're just back and forth, and like all the riders are really friendly out there. And it's just a really such a unique experience to be doing that kind of a race. That like if you ever have the opportunity, it's in October. Because it's so old school, I think it's managainshorse.net. I don't even think the details are updated with this whole situation. Yeah, who knows if that'll happen. Hopefully it will by October. But that's a race to put on your bucket list if you want to do something a little different. Do you have a YouTube channel? I don't. Kele versus Kipchoge, I don't know. I mean, marathon, what? I didn't hear what you said. We can share? Oh, Jamil's gonna share his YouTube channel with me. Yeah, it's hard to bet against Kipchoge on the marathon, obviously. Like overall, I don't know if I'm qualified to make that assessment. Cool. Well, I'm gonna grab some more water. How you doing, Jamil?
Good. It'd be cool to get my stats on here if you figure it out.
Oh yeah.
It's on my laptop on the second screen.
Okay. Oh, I got it. Jamil wants to. Our results are pretty broken.
He counted all of them individually.
Oh, like the timing system wasn't working? Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's like bouncing all over the, probably because of the loop.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you know roughly like 42 laps? Does that sound right? It's 2 miles. Ours was, yeah.
So, just maybe Josh's bib was mad.
Yeah, or yeah, if he was wearing it in a weird spot, or yeah.
Sweet, thank you. Thanks for taking out the stream for a while.
Yeah. Good, we got to chat about all kinds of stuff.
Gotta brave the heat out here.
What?
I gotta brave the heat.
I was getting cooked. I was kind of getting cooked. Yeah, like it's warm in that one little like area that's sunny.
Nick, can you make sure that says continue broadcast on the iPad, please?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Someone asked if you're eating pizza for aid. Jamil said he needs pizza right now. And then the temperature here, I don't know, in the sun, it feels like, I think the temperature is probably in the 70s right now. Yeah, it might be 80. Yeah, in the sun it feels a little warm, in the shade it feels pretty nice. Build your trail resume to get selected for Cocodona. Summertime Ultra in Flagstaff. So there aren't too many ultras in Flagstaff. We had one that's obviously put on hold right now at Fort Tuthill. It's a nice trail run, but it's not epic. Our fall Flagstaff race, is that happening this year?
Big Pine?
Yeah, no, well, Big Pine is. So Big Pine, and then we have a night run attached to it, is postponed.
It's going to be postponed.
Yeah. No, but Sky Peaks?
I'm not sure yet, because Snowball is going to be there.
Yeah, so Sky Peaks in October is our better race if you want something epic that's more Cocodona-ish. But it's in flux a little bit right now because of Snowball, where we host it, doing some construction, so stay tuned on that one. Yeah, I did mine in like the non-GPS mode. Yeah, I figured that out from the 24-hour because I knew that would be like 50. I actually have I couldn't find it, but I have a foot pod that does pretty well.
Stride?
No, it was like, I found it on like eBay for like $10. It was some like Adidas brand. Yeah. Yeah, like even the Adidas one, like it was Ant Plus and it interfaced fine, and I want to say it was within like a mile or two of my total result. Over 120 miles.
I've just been running on that canal, or like right by the river. It's amazing.
Yeah, right?
So nice.
Yeah. Like I love the part of the airport. Yeah.
It's for sale still.
It's hit.
7 acres.
Yeah. an order soon.
What's up?
I'm gonna take off soon and bring pizza home.
Okay, yeah. Just let us know.
Calling you out. Well, I should probably put it in now, right?
Yeah, it'll be like 10 minutes.
Should I just go tell that, or
Yeah, just go tell him. Put it in for you.
what's your best? Well, I guess I know your what's your best like veggie pizza?
Honestly, now I would say the garden pesto. What's up, y'all? It's Nathan. I'm back. I took a nice shower, feeling fresh. So I'm gonna be here till 1 a.m. Gonna be making pizzas till 1 a.m. Let me just look through some of these comments, see if there's some good stuff here. Let's see, Ernesto Glez. Is Hawaiian pizza man's greatest invention or an abomination to Italian cuisine? I like this question. That's a great question. Personally, I don't know if I would say it's man's greatest invention, but I would say it's a pretty solid addition to the human experience. And if you haven't tried it, then I would recommend trying it. So I would definitely fall in the camp of loving pineapple on pizza. Personally, I know some people don't like that, and honestly, that's cool. But what's that phrase? Live and let live? Something like that. I think pineapple on pizza is amazing. I think throwing sweet things, throwing fruit on pizza is artisan. Some people think it's an abomination. I mean, they're wrong, but that's cool. You know, to each his own. So yeah, that's what I have to say. There's a lot of weird things that people put on pizza nowadays that I feel like if you have like such a proclivity against a specific ingredient, then I don't know, maybe you need to open up your mind a little bit more and just try something new. That's my opinion, if you asked. What we got here? Is he eating pizza for aid? Also, what's the temp and hydration strat today? I know Nick ate a whole pizza.
Yeah, it was great.
During his run. He said it was fantastic fueling. Jam ate a pizza earlier, so I don't know if he'll eat a second one. He could. He's been known to eat 2, maybe 3 pizzas in a day, not gonna lie. So, Jam, what's your hydration and fueling strat for today? You want another pizza? What do you want? Whatever? Okay. Yes, he wants another pizza. So the fueling strategy is pizza, indeed. I actually feel kind of weird now that I didn't eat a pizza while I was running because it's the Pizzathon. I don't know. I guess my one excuse is it was kind of early. I started around like 10 a.m., so it's not quite pizza time yet. I had an acai bowl right afterwards. I am about to have a pizza because I still need to refuel a little bit more from that run this morning, but sounds like Jam wants a pizza, so I'll probably go put that order in for him in a minute. But I wanted to jump on here and say what's up for a few. Hydration, he didn't say anything about hydration, but I think just water. He's usually a water kind of guy, or LaCroix. Let's see here, any other ones? Go Jam, go, woo! Does the spinning circle represent Jamel's running? I'm guessing you mean like one of those loading symbols like they had on like the old Apple computers where it was like that rainbow spinning wheel of death that just stuck there over and over and over again. I remember when I was in like 6th grade, I remember that thing on those giant, horribly colored, vanilla, giant Macintosh computers that did cool things, but they weren't the pinnacle of, you know, technological. Fashion's not the right word. I don't know what the right word is because you don't really like dress up a computer, but it wasn't as sexy. We'll put it that way. It wasn't as sexy as it is today. So that's what I gotta say about that. Go Jamel, Rocket Jamel, or Gamil. Haha, nice throwback to that Barkley
April Fool's spoof. That was an awesome video. I laughed out loud multiple times. Connor Drew asks, record number of pizzas eaten in one day by one of you guys. All right, sorry. Record number of pizzas eaten in one day by one of you guys. That is a great question. Myself, personally, I probably hold the record since I'm around the pizza most. It was probably one of my ultra marathon pizza making weekends. So like a few times a season, we'll usually have big multi-day events where I'm up for, I don't know how many hours in a row, just like Jamel is for his big events, but you know, I've stayed up to like 40 hours straight. I wanna say, okay, so there's two questions here. One, in a 24-hour period, how many pizzas have I eaten? And two is over the course of like, let's say a weekend or one awake go, how many have I eaten? I would say in a 24-hour period, I'm pretty sure I've done 4 multiple times in a 24-hour period. Over the course of one cycle of staying awake, I would gander to say closer to 6. Because we're out making pizzas all weekend and I gotta fuel myself and I'm burning a lot of calories. And when you don't sleep, you burn even more calories because usually when you're asleep, your caloric needs go way down. So probably 6. Does that make me fat? Does that make me like unhealthy? I don't know. I feel fit, so that's all that matters. If you want to eat 6 pizzas in one go, I say do you if it feels good. Let's see here. Jem Rooney just smashed out a 10K for the Demore Global Running event. Now to prepare for my Aravaipa Strong 100 miler this Friday. Hope everyone's having an awesome weekend of running. That's awesome, Jem. You've been on here for a while with us. Thanks for being here all day and hanging out with us. Congrats on the 10K. Good luck on the 100 miler this Friday. Hope it's amazing and goes really well for you and you have a great time out there. Ernesto Glez, you choose wisely. We still friends. Thanks, Ernesto. I'm glad that we can still be friends amidst our difference of opinion. I appreciate that. Let's see, Connor Drews. This is an amazing answer already. Thanks for the answer. Of course, you're welcome. It's fun. I like to have fun with it. I mean, it's pizza. You gotta have fun with it. So, yeah, pizza's amazing. So, speaking of pizza, I bet my brother is getting hungry, so I'm gonna go put in his second pizza order of the day. And then I actually have to go drop off a delivery, so it might be a few minutes before I'm back, but hang tight. If you have any questions come up, throw them in the chat. I'll definitely answer them as soon as I get back. I shouldn't be gone for too long. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for donating. Thank you for tuning in and supporting. Good luck to everybody who is doing Aravaipa Strong this week. Super happy to finish my half marathon this morning. It was a great experience. Yeah, thanks so much. Let's see, pictures out of focus. Pictures out of focus. Nicholas. Someone said the picture is out of focus. I'm not sure what that means or how to fix that. Which one? Do we know which one? Or is it because of the stream? I'm not seeing. Is it maybe that one?
It looks in focus.
It looks fairly, I mean, that one looks a little less in focus than that one, but I don't know what that one is. The top right one here, maybe looks slightly out of focus.
This one?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, that's the one. We're checking it. Uno momento. Seatown fan, are you an ultra runner too? Yes, I have done ultras. I have not done that many in recent years. I've done maybe a couple 50Ks in recent years. I mean, it looks decent to me. It doesn't look super out of focus, so I don't know. Maybe that's just might just be their connection or the stream, but overall it looks in focus to me. So sorry if it's looking out of focus. We tried to fix it. I don't know if that helped or not, but we tried. So yeah, ultra runner. Yeah, I have run a number of ultras, not nearly as many as both of my brothers, but I've done 100, I've done a few 50s, I've done some 50Ks, I've done a few 24-hour races. So yeah, I did cross country and track back in high school, But I've gotten a lot more into yoga and meditation and various other explorations, creative explorations the last few years, so I haven't done as much running specifically, but I do still run on occasion, like this morning. So yeah, I'm a runner, I'm an ultra runner. I would say I do have a desire to get more back into it. It's just the cars just haven't really played that way. I've been focused on other things, especially running the business takes a lot of my time up. So yeah, that's my answer to that. Oh, sweet, refreshed my browser, it's good to go. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna go put this pizza order in. Y'all can keep hanging out, ask questions. Be back in a little bit. Thanks for tuning in with us. Appreciate you.
sausage, mushroom, garden pesto, and sriracha. I just forgot. Yes? Yeah, I'm gonna switch directions here. Wait a minute. You should do it backwards. Relax. Bring you up for the 2 cup.
Yeah, let me grab money.
Put it right there. I'll get it.
So I go to there. Huh? Oh, nice. Don't go back out and see. I appreciate it.
What up, y'all? I am back. Just did a quick little delivery down the street, and we are back. So what we got going on in the chat here while I was gone. Does anyone do triathlons? I do not do triathlons personally. I know Jamel has done some triathlons, but I am not a swimmer. And cycling's cool. It's not my favorite, but it's cool. I haven't done too much of it lately. Tim Blade just got back from Flagstaff. Phoenix people still losing it with the lockdown, it appears. Yeah, it's definitely still on lockdown. Definitely, you know, grateful that we can still come out here and work and do this socially distanced run. But yeah, we are on lockdown for sure. Vikings word, no one eating pizza, no one else, period. My brother Nick just got 3 pizzas to go. He's about to head out. I think they're making a pizza for Jam Jam. I don't know if he's eating it yet, but they were making it when I left. So I think he has a pizza now. Hopefully he's eating pizza now. Hey, I've got an hour of light left. Going to do a trail run. Take care. Awesome. Enjoy Vikings word. Enjoy your run. Let's see here. Can you see this chat, Jamel? Says Seatown fan. This is a cool space. Charity run for healthcare workers. Jam Jam cannot currently see this chat because he is running and doesn't have like a big screen up or anything. But I'm Nathan, I'm Jam Jam's brother. I run the operations of Freak Brothers Pizza. And I can see these now. So if y'all have any questions for Jam Jam, I can try to ask him while he's on the run and see if we can't get an answer out of him. So feel free to throw your Jam Jam questions in the chat if you want. Yeah, it is a cool space. So yeah, this space is called the Churchill. It is a collaborative community space, community gathering space. There are 10 local small businesses who all operate out of here. There are 4 restaurants, 4 retail shops, 2 bars, and we all work together collaboratively. It's a mix between more newer owners versus more experienced owners. So there's a cool dynamic there. And really we're all just about helping each other out, you know. Basically, anyone who brings someone into the space helps everybody else. So it's very much a truly collaborative environment. The 2 guys who run the space are really awesome. One of them has a background in bar and restaurants, the other in real estate, both very successful at what they were doing, but wanted to do something with a little bit more soul to it. So that's what I was really drawn to about this space, to be our first permanent location for Freak Brothers. And that's why we're out here today. So yeah, and they're also, the spirit of this run that we're doing today, if you're just tuning in, we are raising funds to donate to hospitals to buy pizzas for hospital workers, and we are also donating funds to my employees who have lost work through this crisis. So I think my bro's heading out soon. But yeah, they are very much all about it. As soon as I told them about this idea, they were 100% in for it. So they're really awesome guys, really big-hearted dudes who are just trying to be good leaders, be good stewards, and truly making a difference and making the culture in downtown Phoenix much more vibrant, much more connected. Really awesome space. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, man. Let's see. Someone explain what this is, Alan. I think I just kind of explained what it is. Oh, hey Nick. See you later, man. Thanks for coming out. My bro Nick's heading out. Happy recovery from that 50-mile last night plus the half marathon today. Yeah. Get some good rest and enjoy the za and the cupcakes.
I will. I'm gonna enjoy all this.
Heck yeah, dude. Later. So yeah, so this is a charity run. So we are running for 8 hours straight. So myself, my 2 older brothers, Nick and Jamel, and then Josh, who's one of my buddies who has worked with Freak Brothers for 5 years. We all have been taking turns running a couple of hours. We're running laps around a 77-meter track inside the Churchill in downtown Phoenix. That's 21 laps to the mile if you're counting. And we are hoping to run over 50 miles collectively. I think we're getting pretty close to that now. We're in kind of the final hour or so of the run now. We started around 10:15 or so this morning, so I think Jam Jam's got another hour or so to go on the run. So we are, yeah, so I ran a half marathon. I think Nick ran a half marathon in about 2 hours, and then Josh ran about 11 or so miles in about 90 minutes, and then I think Jam's gonna finish off, hopefully get a little more than a half marathon, and I think we'll end up somewhere around the 50-mile mark by the end of the run. If you want to donate, check out our website, www.freakbros.pizza. You can donate for as little as $10. That will donate 1 pizza to a hospital, as well as put $5 in the digital tip jar for my employees who are currently out of work. So both really great causes. We're really trying to just do something for our community, do something for people who are in need that we have the power to help. So any funds that you donate are being passed on directly to those 2 causes, split evenly between those 2. So you can check out the website. There's more information about what we're doing here today, about the different options on how you can donate. And then in the following couple of weeks, depending on how many pizzas we end up donating, we're gonna talk to some different hospitals around the area and set up some times to bring them 50 pizzas and feed all their staff and say thank you for everything you're doing, being on the front lines during this crisis. So that's what we're doing out here today. That's what this is all about. And I appreciate you guys joining in for us. Hey Jam, is there any way I can easily check what the total donations are? Or can you check, or? All right, we're gonna try to get you guys an update on where the donations are at right now. I know a few hours back, this is only a few hours after we started, we are already at like over $1,600, which is amazing. That was already 160 pizzas donated to hospitals. Plus the other thing we're doing is anyone who is in the Phoenix area and buys a pizza from us today, either takeout or delivery, we are going to match that in donated pizzas to the hospitals. So we're hoping to really get a lot of pizzas on board so we can really make a difference, and hopefully over the next couple weeks, every day go out and feed a different hospital. That would be really awesome. We did that a couple weeks ago and it was a really amazing experience on both ends. So yeah, hopefully we should get some numbers here too. I think Jam's looking it up. Let's see what else we got here. This course is like 3 times the length of the Helipad Marathon. Yeah, so if those of you who missed it, Jamel ran a marathon around the helipad on top of our new warehouse that we've been renovating. So he ran a marathon around the helipad. It was a 27-meter course. This is a 77-meter course. So yeah, that's about 3 times the length. Yeah, so that's about right. 235. 2350?
Yeah. I think I miscounted earlier. I was like double counting something, so it's, yeah.
So 2350. Dope. So our donation update, we are at $2,350. That's amazing. That's 235 pizzas already donated to hospitals. Thank you guys so much for supporting, for donating. We really appreciate it. That's awesome. And that's gonna be on top of whatever amount of pizzas we sell in the shop today, which I'm hoping will be another 100, maybe even 200 if things go really well. So man, in my mind, I'm hoping we can hit 500. I think that would be amazing if we could hit 500 pizzas. That would be 10 different meals we can serve, because we can make about 50 pizzas at a time to bring over to these hospitals and serve them lunch, serve them a dinner, late night, whatever they want really. So that's amazing. Thanks guys. We've already got several hundred pizzas donated. That's awesome. It's really cool to see the community coming out. I really had no idea what the response would be on this. We never done anything like this before, but it's been beyond my expectations. So thanks so much everyone. This is awesome. And it's cool, like everyone who's sitting at home right now, it's like an opportunity for everyone to come together and be involved and be empowered and just help each other out. I think we really just need more of that in the world right now, especially. So thank you everyone for stepping up and you know, doing a good thing. Let's see, 8 hours is like an ultra for sure. Yeah, definitely. Fortunately, we have 4 guys today that are splitting up that 8 hours, about 2 at a time, but yeah, 8 hours is definitely an ultra. Hopefully we hit that 50 miles or more today. Boomer Warrior, any input on lower cost trail shoe companies? I'm an older novice runner on a budget, just started training about 6 weeks ago. Excited to be doing Aravaipa Strong race on Thursday, my very first 10K. That's awesome, congratulations on doing your first 10K. That is amazing, congrats on signing up for that. I think Jam probably would be a good one to answer that. I don't know that in him running around right now, he's able to provide that in-depth of an answer for you, but Hopefully he can come back around once he's done running if we're still on, staying on this live stream, and maybe come back to that question. So Boomer Warrior, when Jam Jam gets done, if you are still around, maybe we can have him sit down and give you an answer on that. I'm honestly not as in tune with that kind of stuff right now. I'm not running as much as he is, but we'll see if we can't get you an answer a little bit later on that. Great cause, they will appreciate it. Yeah, for sure. We are super excited. C-Town fan, think all three brothers should race at the end. Well, unfortunately that's not possible for two reasons. One, Nick just left, so that's not gonna happen, unfortunately. And two, we are, the reason we're running one at a time is because we really want to be vigilant about social distancing. We don't want to be promoting group running right now. We do take this whole thing seriously because we are looking out for everyone, and we want to make sure that everyone stays safe as much as we can do that's in our power and set a good example. So, and I took a shower. So, but maybe soon, maybe next time, we can have the showdown with the bros. I think that's a freaking great idea, and definitely want to do that one. So thanks for the suggestion. That's awesome. Alexander Arnold on Facebook. How is Jamel holding up? Jam Jam, how you holding up? You all right? Cool. Do you get your pizza?
Yeah, I'm kind of full right now, though.
Oh, okay. Nice. Sweet. All right, cool. Yeah, Alexander, if you're still on here, Jam Jam's holding up well. Having fun, doing some laps, feeling good. He says he's full, so he does have a pizza waiting for him. He already had one earlier today, but he ordered a second one, so maybe if he runs a few more laps, he'll get hungry again and definitely get down on that once he's finished. Randy Cufaro, can we mail order Freak Brothers Pizza? Great question. We've actually been kind of talking about this today a little bit. The last few days I've been chatting with Jamel about it. But I have actually seen a few pizza companies lately who are, what's up, dude?
You want me to do the 5:30 delivery?
Yeah, that would be awesome if you could. Thank you. Saying, oh yeah, so I've seen a few pizza companies. They're actually freezing their pizzas and mailing them out. I didn't realize this was a thing. I've actually had people some of my friends who live in other states, like, oh, can you mail me a pizza? I'm like, I don't think you can do that, or I don't know if that's even possible or feasible or financially feasible, but they're doing it actually. So they're actually a pizza company based out of San Diego that I follow that is doing that. They just started doing that in the last week or two. They're like taking orders, and then once a week they just make up some pizzas. They like air seal it or whatever. I'm not using the right term, but then they put it in the freezer and they freeze it, and then they like mail it in some kind of special packaging to you. So I'm actually getting ready to order some of their pizza to check that out, see how that process works, and see if that might be something feasible for us to do in the future. So not yet is the answer, but maybe soon. You never know. So I'm always looking for new ideas to innovate. That's a great question, Randy. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for the support, man. Boomer Warrior. Jamel was talking about shipping pizzas earlier. Yes, I'll buy some up here in Colorado. That's awesome, Boomer Warrior. Yeah, for sure. If we do work on that process and refine it and figure it out, if it's feasible for us, then 100% we would love to ship you some pizzas in Colorado. That would be so awesome. Love to be able to share pizzas with more people other than just those who are able to come by the shop in Phoenix. So we'll definitely let you all know that. We'll make some kind of announcement if and when we're able to do that. I love the idea. I think that would be super sweet. Let me look back on Facebook, see if there's other comments I missed. See here. Nice slap record. Nation. 10 hours made on 50 miler. Good job, Nathan. How are the hips feeling from all those turns? All right, earlier today, Jake Jackson says, great job, Nathan. How are the hips feeling from all those turns? Hips are actually good. I don't know, my hips, I think my hips have gotten a lot stronger. I've done a lot of yoga the last number of years, last 5 years or so, and I think that has really helped to strengthen a lot of different micro muscles at different positions, different, you know, ways of turning my body and strengthening it, different poses. So my hips actually feel great. I don't feel bad at all, even though I didn't really train for this at all. I run maybe once a week or so right now, to be honest. But my knees were starting to feel it a little bit. They were just getting a little bit sore, a little bit achy, and then my legs just got heavy the more that I ran. But that's about it. Honestly, now, even after I went home real quick and took a shower, I feel great. I feel pretty fresh. Refueled with a nice acai bowl. Probably gonna have a pizza soon. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. So thanks for asking. Let's see here. Let's see. Shane B says, just jumped on, looking to donate per mile on the website. How many miles you guys at so far? I think we are at over 40 miles. I think we're gonna hit somewhere around 50 or so. So if that kind of gives you an idea on how much you're kind of thinking to donate, then yeah, we'll probably hit more or less about 50 miles, I would say, give or take maybe 3 to 5 miles. That's the best estimate I can give you. So hopefully that's helpful for you, Shane. Thanks so much for the donation. We appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, you can actually donate per mile. There's still a little bit less than an hour left, which is kind of a fun, just different way to donate that, you know, we start, you just put kind of $10 down as your holding place, and then once we finish today, we'll shoot you a message tonight or tomorrow probably, and let you know what the total distance was and what your total donation is, and we'll send you kind of a follow-up link after that to complete your donation. So even the numbers that we heard today, I mean, I don't know how many of those were per mile donation. So the number, so 2350 was the last number that I heard. So that could actually be even a lot higher than that if some of those were per mile donations, because that's only a $10, it only shows up as $10 for us right now because it's just kind of just a holding place for the donation. So that could multiply depending on how much per mile people were donating. So could be even higher than that already. It could potentially be over 2,500 already, which is amazing. It's already 250 pizzas just from the donations you guys have been giving, plus whatever pizzas we're gonna match by how much we make in the shop tonight. Zaz420 Gaming says, everyone knows nurses love pizza. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we delivered about 50 pizzas to the Banner University Medical Center. That's just less than a mile down the street from us, really close. We have a runner who actually works there and that we know. I think she's involved with November Project, I believe. And she kind of was our connection to that hospital, and we went down there, we dropped off 50 pizzas, and oh my God, the looks on their faces they were just so elated. So yeah, 100%, everyone knows the nurses love pizza, and yeah, we're super happy to provide that over the next couple weeks. I think we're gonna have a lot of pizzas to give away and a lot of happy people. Shane B, way to go, doing it now. Awesome, thanks so much, Shane, appreciate the donation, that is awesome, thanks so much. All right, on our Facebook, we got some people signing up for the Limitless Challenge. Advice on encouraging, fancy a pizza now. All right. I think on the Freak Bros Facebook, I had someone ask, how can we support Freak Brothers as we start coming out of quarantine, even other than just buying a pizza? That was from one of my friends who lives here locally. Great question. Right now I think it's awesome. Just we're making enough to survive right now. We're fortunate to have really great landlords who are working with us very closely to make sure that we can weather the storm now that we're staying open. So I'm super grateful for that. So we are making enough to survive right now from the audience that we've built over the last 6 years. So for that, I'm really grateful. As we start to kind of come out of quarantine, so the other big piece of our business where we actually started is our events. So we do special events of all different kinds. We'll do multi-day running races, multi-day music and art festivals, beer festivals, all kinds of different fun events, spring training games. Unfortunately, that whole arm of our business was canceled, just like my brother's running events were canceled. All of our special events were canceled because there are no large gatherings. Also, our private caterings is another growing piece of our business that all of the events in the foreseeable future were canceled because most of those events are at least 20 or 30 people. So unfortunately, we were not able to deliver on those and had to reschedule. So I think, this doesn't just go for us, but this goes for a lot of restaurants who are right now really struggling. A lot of restaurants don't even know if they're going to be around 6 months from now, which is not fun to think about. But I think one big way, besides even just buying food from them when they are able to reopen, if they are closed right now, is there are a lot of restaurants who do catering. So if you have any events you're trying to do in the fall or even next spring, some big events, catering can even be planned out further in advance. If you can even just talk to your favorite local restaurants who you want to cater a birthday party, maybe your wedding, maybe a graduation party, whatever it might be, maybe just to celebrate coming out of quarantine party. Who knows, get creative with it. But if you can talk to your local restaurant, if they do catering, and put down a deposit, every little bit really helps. Cash flow is going to be really big for a lot of restaurants to build momentum, get back up off the ground. It costs a lot to run a restaurant. I have to pay for my food up front, my staff, like my rent, all the different supplies that we have, marketing. There's a lot of different costs as with any business, but restaurants especially run usually very tight margins. But caterings can usually be a nice cushion for a restaurant to really get ahead. So I would say that, for us or for anyone else, if you have some kind of catering or private party that you want to book, talk to your restaurant sooner than later and start that conversation. And maybe even sooner than later, you can put a deposit down, and that cash will help them to weather the storm, to help get them through, and then to ensure that they have guaranteed future business in the future. So that would probably be my number one recommendation. That, again, I think that applies to wherever you're at, any local restaurants that are your favorites. That's one way that besides just going to the restaurant and buying food when they're open, you can really support them and help them to overcome the challenges that they're facing. Let's see, ask Jam Jam, favorite pizza. Okay, cool. Jam Jam, what's your favorite pizza at the moment?
Pesto Madness.
Garden Pesto or?
No,
Pesto Madness, okay.
that's what I said.
So Jam Jam's favorite pizza is the Pesto Madness, which is recently retired officially, but still exists if you want to get it. So that is going to be a pesto base, a little bit of mozzarella, grape tomatoes, and banana peppers. For Jam Jam, that would be veganized, so we would use our house-made vegan pesto and the plant-based mozzarella cheese that we have, which is really good. That pizza we actually upgraded recently. It's now called the Garden Pesto, and we threw on some spinach and some mushrooms to that. So it looks a lot more full, a lot more colorful. It's like eating a beautiful garden. It's really amazing. It's one of my favorite pizzas right now too. So yeah, that is Jam Jam's favorite pizza. Shane B, done. You guys. $1.50 per mile, get it, finish strong. That is awesome. Thanks so much, Shane. $1.50 per mile. We're gonna be running about 50 miles. That's a big donation. Thanks so much. That is amazing. Appreciate you, dude. Gotta go. Dinner time here in NorCal, says Randy. Hoping to see y'all across the years, and then I can try Freak Brothers Pizza. Heck yeah, Randy. All right, man. Well, you have a great time. Have a great dinner. Yeah, hope to see you out here in December and across the years. Maybe we'll get Freak Brothers out there this year. Who knows? We're usually pretty busy with some other events around that time, but maybe we can at least come out for a day or two and cook some pizzas on site. If not, maybe you can swing by our downtown Phoenix shop, maybe before or after the run happens. So that would be awesome. Hope you have a great night, Randy. Thanks for tuning in, man. Ernesto, ask Jamel what conditioner he uses. Oh man, that's a great question. I could probably answer that. It's probably whatever he found at the dollar store or something, but I don't think he uses any kind of special conditioner, but I guess I can ask him. Hey Jam, do you use any kind of special conditioner for your hair? No, dollar store special?
What?
Dollar store special?
I think Target.
Target, okay. Target, something with coconut in it. Yo, what's up? Hey, y'all, see this man in the background? This is Eric. He's our GM at the shop. He's awesome. He's got a beautiful pink mask on that he is modeling. He also has a desire to be a robot. No, to have robot hands.
Yes, robot hands.
Robot hands. This is like one of his biggest dreams. Because he's already like a master in the kitchen. Like you see this dude cut. He's one of those guys where like he could be like looking at you having a full-on conversation and cutting, let's say mushrooms, like, and not cut his finger at all. Like it's amazing.
Consistently the same size.
Consistently same size too, like same cut size. If you know what cut size means, if you're in the restaurant industry, right? Isn't that so cool?
Awesome, yo.
Yeah.
Well, guys, hope you guys have a great day today.
Hey, also, if y'all didn't know, after this live stream is over, we'll probably stay and hang out a little bit longer after the run's over, but then we are gonna go live on our Instagram a little bit later. Me and Eric have been jumping on there. So if you wanna hang out with us later tonight, if you got nothing better going on, just hanging out at home, maybe tune in to our Freak Brothers Pizza Instagram Live. If you don't follow us yet, if you're here from Aravaipa and you wanna give us a follow and just follow our journey on what we're doing over here in Phoenix, if you're not from the States, then at Freak Bros Pizza, is how you can follow us. We are on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Those are the two best ways to connect with us and check out what we are doing over here. So appreciate you guys coming on. Let's see, no way. I have curly hair and we all pretend like we don't care, but we do. Yeah, sorry Ernesto. Jam says whatever's at Target, and if it has coconut in it, that's plus. So I guess that's kind of his luxury ingredient that he looks for on the conditioner, but I don't know that he has super expensive conditioner. I use some like kind of nice organic shampoo and conditioner I found just off of Amazon that I really like. But yeah, for Jam, I know some things he's very low maintenance about certain things, which is awesome. It's pretty easy for him to adapt to things. I mean, when you're out at something like the Barkley, you know, you're not really able to rely on your $50 conditioner, so it's probably for the best that he's able to adapt like that. I think it plays to his hand well in some of these more rugged type events, and he just lives the lifestyle, you know. He just lives that rugged lifestyle and just adapts. So maybe that's part of his success in those kind of endeavors. See if there's any comments on the Freak Bros Facebook lately. Oh, here we go. All right, we got a few comments on it. My buddy Sam asks, let's see this. Y'all are the most physically fit pizza makers there ever were. Pizza emoji, weightlifter emoji, donated. Thanks, Sam. You're awesome. My buddy Sam, really awesome dude. I met him actually, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago at a friend's party, house party, and he was working at the time for this company called Relentless Beats. They produce some incredible raves and music festivals and art events here in Phoenix. They're one of the biggest and best in the Southwest at what they do. They put on some incredible productions to really try to elevate and advance the electronic music scene, and just in general the art and music scene here in Phoenix. So he was working for them, booking vendors. I was still very young in Freak Brothers Pizza mobile events, and he's like, hey, do you want to come cook at one of our events, one of our music festivals we got going on? I'm like, that sounds cool. Like, how many people are out there? He's like, oh, just 10,000. I'm like, 10,000? What? I've only done events with like 300 runners at it. Like, that's the max we've done. There's no way I can cook at an event with 10,000 people. I don't even know what we would do, like how that would even work. I would make that much dough. I mean, we cook that many pizzas. And he's like, no, you'll be fine. Like, you just come out and do it. I was like, no, there's no way. Like, we can't do that. Of course not. So he's like, all right, well, here's my car, here's my number, think about it, and let me know. So I slept on it the next day. Sure enough, I texted him. I was like, all right, I'm in. Like, let's do this. So I had like 3 weeks, I think it was, like 3 weeks to figure out how I went from 300, serving an event with 300 people to an event of 10,000 people. I like called up all the people I knew, like, hey, I need your help, like, because I only had a couple people working with me at the time. I was like, hey, can you come out and just cook pizza with me? I called a couple of my friends who I was also working part-time at Chipotle with to come help out for the night. And man, that was a crazy event, but it was super fun. I learned a lot. It was wild. But that really was our first big step into doing big events and kind of stepping out of just doing the running events. I think that might have been our first real non-running event, it's like special event that we cooked at. So that's Sam. Thanks so much, buddy, for tuning in. You're awesome. Sam is also a very talented musician. I'm connected to a lot of really cool artists and musicians here in Phoenix. The Phoenix art and music scene is really elevating the last few years and connecting a lot, and it's really amazing to see what's going on here. So let's see. Joey Calhoun asks, do you guys have a favorite place to run in Phoenix? We'll be there in the hot summer months for business. Great question. So there are a lot of incredible regional parks all around Phoenix. So I would say one of the first go-tos would just be look up the regional parks. They're all different. They're all unique. It's where Aravaipa puts on most of its runs. Usuri, if you're over in the East Valley, I think, is beautiful. I like going to, I live right near Dreamy Draw Park and Pesto Peak. Those are incredible running areas if you want a little more ups and downs and elevation to it. There's a lot of little just parks and little trail systems. Trail 100 is another amazing one. So it really kind of depends where you're at in the valley, but there's literally regional parks surrounding the whole valley and even some kind of interspersed within it. So I would say that's the #1 recommendation I would make if you're looking for places to run in Phoenix. I also personally like running on canals. There's some amazing canal paths if you want something a little more flat, but still kind of running on dirt and not just on the streets with a bunch of cars spitting their exhaust in your face. Canals, the canal system is another great way to get some runs in if you want something a little more flat. So those would be my top recommendations for you. Camelback is also another great one to hike. It's a little harder to run. You can run some parts of it, or if you really are good at climbing hills, you could run some of it, but if you do want to even just go for a hike, Camelback's a pretty popular spot. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Brendan Weezer. Okay, here we go. Who would win in a race, Homestar Runner or the King of Town, with a cardboard box covered in syrup dangling in front of him for the entirety of the race? Ooh, that's a tough one, man. Because Homestar Runner, in his name. So if you guys aren't familiar what my friend Brendan is talking about, there's this like comic online. It's like a website. It's called Homestar Runner. There's Homestar, there's Strong Bad, there's Strong Sad, there's Strong Mad, there's Marzipan, there's the King of Town, I don't know, there's all these different characters, and they make all these like little video episodes. This is from like, I was back in high school, I think, when this came out, or even before then, so that was, God, like a dozen years ago at least, something like that. Yeah, it had to be more than that, like 15 years ago. So anyways, he was asking him two of the different characters in there who would win. Homestar Runner has runner in his name, so obviously that's like pretty big, but the king of town is like a fiend for syrup. And he has a cardboard box covered in syrup. He loves cardboard boxes and he loves syrup. So it's dangling in front of him for the entirety of the race. I feel like he would go pretty fast trying to get that cardboard box covered in syrup. The Homestar Runner is like, he's the runner. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the king of town on this one, to be honest, because I feel like that's a very unique situation to put him in, and I think he would do it. Yeah, I think he would take it. So that's my vote. Jeremy, my buddy Jeremy, what's up, dude? What's the lap count? Our timing system's been a little bit weird today. I don't know exactly how many laps we've done, but I can probably estimate. Let's see, we all did about 250. So we're trying to do about 50 miles today. It is 21 laps to the mile. Let's see, a half marathon's about 270, so 12 and a half. About 250 laps per 12 and a half miles, I would say. So we're probably approaching 1,000 laps, I would say. Probably approaching 1,000 laps, approaching 50 miles. We've got maybe about 30 minutes left. I think we started about 15 minutes late, so I think we'll go to about 6:15 or whenever Jam Jam wants to stop, really. So, yeah, that's the lap count. Let's see, Ernesto says, when two people with curly hair see each other on the street. I don't know what that face means. Oh, because yeah, I mean, I love my curly hair. If I see, I don't know, I have mixed feelings about seeing someone else with curly hair on the street, because I'm like, no, like I'm the curly haired one. Like that's my curly hair. Now you have curly hair too. All right, this is kind of awkward now. So I think that's what you're saying, Ernesto. Maybe you're saying something different, but I don't know. I also appreciate curly hair, so I'll also give him the thumbs up too. Are custom-made insoles a good investment or a waste of money? You out of here, bro?
Yep.
All right, bro. You take it easy. Thanks for coming down, man. Your chum. Yeah. Custom-made insoles, an investment or a waste of money? I've honestly heard both. I think I tried them once back in the day. I haven't really used them since. It's hard to say, you know. I think it would depend on how good is the insole, what is your biomechanics like for your foot, for your gait, you know, what kind of tests are you doing on like treadmills at running shops. There's a lot of different philosophies. Are you more of a minimalist approach in mindset? Are you more of a believer in that? Are you more of a believer in you really want to protect yourself and cushion yourself and try to minimize the amount of impact that you're creating? You know, how much of a foot issue do you have, and have you tried other things? So I don't know if I can really give a clear answer on that. I think it's very individual, but I think the best advice I can give on kind of some of my different experiments with that kind of stuff is you kind of got to just try some things out sometimes and figure out if it works for you or not. You know, does high mileage work for everyone? No. Does, you know, running fast speed intervals work for everyone? Some people it does. Some people it's not the greatest thing for them, or they just don't like it. Just do insoles work for some people? They probably do. I mean, I don't think they would be around if they didn't work for some people and they didn't feel some kind of improvement, you know, whether that's a long-term or a short-term, or, you know, if it's, you know, I think that's for the individual to figure out. But, you know, I don't think they would exist if there wasn't some kind of benefit that a number of people are experiencing. Otherwise, people probably wouldn't spend money on it. You know, even with the best marketing, I don't think if there's not any value in a product, then it probably won't exist for too long. So I think that's probably the best answer that I could give. Other people might have different answers, but that's kind of my answer that I would give. All right, 550. Here. Oh yeah, thanks Dave Tida. I was looking for the term for like someone who's like a expert wine taster, and it's hopefully I say this right, sommelier. I think I said that right. But thanks for the reminder. Dave Tida, Pizza Fest, donated what we can. Wish it was more. Good luck with Pizzathon. Miss you all. Thanks so much, dude. That was Dave Tida. He is an awesome positive influence on the Phoenix restaurant scene. He runs a number of festivals. The one that I'm most familiar with is called the Phoenix Pizza Festival. He's been doing that for I think about 5 years now. He brings like 16 to 20 local pizza makers from all over the valley out. We all cook our pizzas, or some people deliver them on site, so that people can come out, try pizza, great pizza from all different pizza restaurants across the valley, and just get a slice of each, try different flavors. It's a really cool experience. He's got bands out there, he's got yard games, all kinds of cool stuff. So David is definitely a very influential person in the Phoenix food scene, the Phoenix food community. He also writes different articles for different publications as well, and just tries to help out wherever he can to try to elevate the culinary scene. So I feel really blessed to be connected to him, to have been a partner with him. I think we've been at the Pizza Festival every year since year 2. Me and Jamel, we visited the Pizza Festival year 1, just as participants. And when we went there, we're like, all right, we're gonna be here next year. We were still very much just starting out. We had no idea what we were doing. That seemed like way too big of an event, but I was like, I wanna be here next year. And sure enough, we had grown enough over the year's time to be out at the Pizza Fest. It was a great time. People, doing events like that is how people really started to get to know us in the Phoenix area. And I'm just super grateful for people like Dave to be able to provide that platform and that opportunity for restaurants and small businesses to grow and to get some more exposure and to connect with new audiences. So, thanks, Dave. Appreciate your donation, and yeah, this is awesome. Let's see if we got any other comments right now. Cool. Let's see, Wilma Dibbs, hi from SoCal. What's up, Wilma? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you checking us out. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, just gluten-free vegan cheese. You want it made now? Yeah. Okay, sounds good. It's 5:52. Do you want to stop right at 6? You want to stop right at 6? Yeah. Cool. No worries. It's all good. All right, guys. We got we got 8 minutes left. 7 minutes left.
Well, I'm gonna go to 200 laps, so I'm at 183.
Okay.
So slightly over.
All right, we got like 17 laps left before Jam Jam is done. If you guys are just tuning in, this is the Freak Bros Pizzathon. We are running laps around the Churchill in downtown Phoenix to raise money to donate pizzas to hospital workers, as well as to our Freak Brothers Pizza employees who are currently out of work. We have been accepting donations all day. The response has been incredible. Last time we checked, we had almost 250 pizzas donated just through the funds that were donated. Plus, we are also matching any pizza that is bought at our shop today. We are matching that as well. So different ways that people can donate. It's been an awesome response. It's been cool just hanging out with everybody on the live streams. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for being here. If you want to look at any more details, if you want to donate, check out www.freakbros.pizza. You can also follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Freak Bros Pizza. Let's see, Ernesto asked, our costume, I already got that one. Let's see, Finger Banger. This dude's still running. Yes, he is still running. It is a different dude. If you tuned in earlier today, it is a different dude running, but this dude is still running. He's been running for almost 2 hours now. 4 of us took turns running about 2 hours each. The loop is 77 meters long, and it's about 21 laps to the mile. So it's a little bit short of a loop, but it's been a fun time being out here. Oh, Nick from State 48 rolls up. What's up, my dude? Thanks, bro. You came just at the perfect time. We're about to finish. You came to the finish line. What's up? All right, I gotta go order a pizza for my nephew because Jam Jam's gonna be done soon, and he wants a pizza for my nephew when he heads out. So I'll be back in a few. If y'all have any last burning remaining questions, please type them in the chat and let us know, and we'll try to get to those. But we will have to pack up pretty soon here once we finish running. Jamel's got just about 15 more laps or so, and then we'll be done. So, hi, is this a relay then? Yes, it is a relay. We are running one person at a time in order to respect social distancing. We want to set a good example and not be promoting group running. So yeah, we're doing it one at a time. Yeah, so we've been going for almost 8 hours now. We're about to wrap things up. For those of you just tuning in, thanks for being a part of it. All right, I'll be back shortly. Getting pretty close?
Yeah, 5.
Sweet. Okay, it sounds like Andy corrected all the stuff. Do do do. Okay. Is Jam Jam the last runner? Yes. Oh, answered your own question. Nice. Air Vibe is strong. Is that a, oh my God, that's a dab emoji. I didn't even know that existed. That is tight. Thanks, Miles Christensen, for putting me onto that. That's super cool. Seatown fan, what is that? Oh, it's like a social distance high five emoji. Nice, that is tight. Lothar Gores. Lothar Gores. Donations possible here on YouTube live stream or only on the website? Only on the website. So if you go to the website and click on the Donate Now button, it'll go to our shop, which has 3 different items that you can donate through. That is the way you can donate to the cause. Miles Christensen. Thank you, Jamel, for everything you and your crew are doing. Together we can accomplish so much more than alone. 100%. Miles Christensen says, thank you, you're awesome, Jam Jam. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're super stoked to be out here doing this. It feels great to bring people together and support our community and to give other people the opportunity across the country and even across the world to have the opportunity to help each other out. So I'm super glad that we're out here doing this, and it wouldn't be possible if everyone didn't come together and join us. So thank y'all for being here. How far has he gone so far? He has gone about 9.5 miles. He's just about done. I think we're just about to wrap up here in just a couple of minutes. So thank you all for being on here. You can still donate until 1 a.m. tonight. We'll still be accepting donations. Honestly, we might even just leave the link open through the end of tomorrow. We'll probably take it down after tomorrow and kind of give everybody a final count. But thank you so much for all the support. We'll try to get an updated number here. We'll definitely announce it on our social media. And it looks like that's it.
You want me to give you the number?
Yeah, let's hear it. So we're gonna give you guys the final number now that it's 6 o'clock. We just finished running. We'll see where we're at. This number could go up based on the people who donated per mile. We'll be giving additional donations once we figure out how far we ran.
2390 is what I have.
Sweet. So we hit $23.90, guys, $2,390. That's already 239 pizzas straight up. That could be a lot more based on how many people donated per mile, plus all of the pizzas that we make in the shop today. We are matching that in donated pizzas. So I think we could probably get close to 400, maybe more pizzas, 500. That would be amazing. So thank you so much. The other thing that I want to remind you of is that this isn't just donating pizzas to hospitals. We are also helping our employees out who are out of work. So thank you so much for supporting them. All of our employees are just really good people. They do their best to show up every day and just be a positive ripple in people's lives, just make people's days a little bit better. I know a lot of you have experienced that out at our running races and such. So thanks so much for supporting our business. We appreciate you guys, and thanks so much for everything that your donations are gonna do for our community as well. We really appreciate that. See if there's the last couple questions I can answer, and then we're gonna have to shut down this feed so we can pack up. Yeah, we'll get you guys a full distance in just a bit. I think our tech guy was trying to work out, so we had a little bit of hiccups with that, but I think he's working out the total distance. Let me ask him right now and see if he knows. What's the final distance in total? All right, we'll see if we can get a response here in a sec. Top work, guys. Much respect from here in the UK. Thanks so much, Matt Q. Appreciate you. What was this a run based on distance or time? It was time. So we were out here 8 hours. 4 of us ran 2 hours each, and we're just wrapped up right now. So thanks so much for supporting us. Yes. All right, about to get the final counts, and once I get the final count, we'll sign off here. Drum roll. Hey, good to see you. Take it easy, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys want to continue the conversation and the hangout, make sure to follow us on @FreakBrosPizza on Instagram. I will be going live on Instagram at some point tonight out of our shop. Hopefully we're going to be pretty busy tonight. Get to meet some of our employees who will make the pizzas for us, and we can just hang out and chat a little bit more, and now I can give you a little more recap on how this whole experience was for us. Oh yeah, so we're gonna be delivering the pizzas. Wait one sec. Doesn't sound right. He did, let's see, 240 laps. Should be close to 50 miles. All right, one sec. Still technical difficulties trying to figure out the total distance, but so our donated pizzas, like I said, right now we have like almost 300 pizzas, which is amazing. Hopefully we'll have closer to 500 by the time this is over. We are going to be contacting a bunch of hospitals around here, depending on how many pizzas the total count is. Let's say we get 500. That means we can feed 10 different hospitals, 50 pizzas each on different days. So over the next couple of weeks, we will be putting that on our social media, probably on our Instagram and our Facebook. about the different hospitals that we're connecting with, and we'll bring you guys a part of that so you can really see how your donation has really made an impact on our communities. I also would love to introduce you to some of our employees who will be receiving those funds that you so generously donated for them to help them to get through this time. I know it's tough for a lot of restaurant workers around the country right now. So thank you for helping to support our small business. We really appreciate it. We've got about, in season, we've got about 15 or so, maybe 18 max employees. When we're not in season, maybe closer to 10 or so employees. So your support really makes a difference. We are a small team, but we are really well connected with each other, and we just love to make people happy. And we have the final amounts. Looks like we did 47.2 miles. That's awesome. Sweet. So pretty close to the 50 miles that we were hoping to do today. I'm super happy with that. It was a challenging loop, being only 77 meters long. It's hard with 4 tight corners plus a couple of stairs each lap, 21 laps per mile. So that is awesome. Thank you guys so much. If you did donate per mile, we'll be reaching out to you in the coming couple of days probably. And we'll let you know what that final amount is for your remaining donation. Thanks so much for committing up front to that. It's amazing. And I hope you guys all have an awesome night. Please stay safe, stay healthy. Follow us if you want to stay in tune with this story. We'll definitely keep you guys involved as we go and deliver these pizzas to the hospitals and bring you a part of that experience. So I'm gonna be signing off for now, but we really appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming out. Hope you all have a great Saturday. And to everyone who's doing the Air Viper Strong, good luck on your races this week. I hope they're amazing, fun, inspiring, and I hope you feel really accomplished after you complete them. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Hope you have a great day.